Hey there, it's Mario here, and in this video you're gonna learn how to gain weight, how to build muscle if you're a quote-unquote hard gainer, right? A lot of people will call themselves hard gainers, and I know I'm a little bit to blame on this channel because I focus so much on losing weight, on losing body fat, and I haven't created many videos to help guys out when it comes to gaining weight. I did make a few, but I know that this is a struggle, is probably as equally hard as it is to lose weight. So people call themselves hard gainers and they'll often message me, hey man, I'm eating 6,000 calories, I'm about 135 pounds, and I'm not gaining any weight. Well, first off, I want to make it clear that if you're a 135 pounds individual and if you're eating 6,000 calories, you're doing something fucking wrong, right? You're either telling me you're eating that much and you're not measuring something properly, or you have a parasite in your digestive system which is spending those calories that you're eating. There's no fucking way someone could be eating that much and not gain weight at 135 pounds. So now that we have that clear, what does it really come down when it comes to gaining muscle, right? We know that we need to be in a caloric surplus. We also know that we need training stimulants hard enough to force our body to build muscle. You need that progressive overload, right? You need effective reps. You need to be increasing the weight you're using in the gym over time. And if you're actually looking for a workout plan, you can download my free Lean and Strong guide below, which explains a really good workout plan, because a workout plan shouldn't be that much different between someone who calls themselves a hard gainer and someone who is simply an average person, or someone who has a quote-unquote slow metabolism. And there isn't much difference when it comes to simply a training stimuli, right? That is something that is pretty much consistent. It depends on your training age and how your body responds to those inputs when you add stress to it, how much they're gonna actually adapt, how much muscle they're gonna build, right? So this video is primarily focused on the nutrition side of things, because this is the thing that is holding most people back, because they think they're eating a caloric surplus, but in reality they're not. And I wanna break down really to show you how your body reacts. Like, what is the key points to understand? What are the key points when it comes to your metabolism? And when I say metabolism, what most people consider metabolism is actually their total daily energy expenditure. So this is how your body will spend the calories you give it, or spend calories simply from the body fat storage that you have on you, right? So there's 4 ways your body can spend calories. So the way number 1 is basal metabolic rate. That's your rate of caloric expenditure simply by being alive, right? Your organs, your things like your eyes spend a lot of calories, like your brain will spend a lot of calories. You probably heard that in school. Things like just maintaining bodily functions like body temperature, like all these things will require a caloric expenditure, a caloric amount. And this isn't something you have a very big impact on, right? This is determined by your genetics, by your weight, height, age, things like that, and maybe your dieting history where you simply lost a bunch of weight. As I said, weight is the primary determinant of your basal metabolic rate, and this isn't something that you should really be concerned about. This isn't going to be the main obstacle, because they actually did a study and they did an analysis of 67 studies out there, and they clearly pointed out that when you equate fat-free mass, individual to individual, with the same age, with the same weight, same height, it's usually the same, right, for most people. So we're not that unique as we think we are. And your basal metabolic rate will vary maybe about 200 calories, of person to person. So that's not a lot. That's just a tiny little bit that's a tablespoon of olive oil, right? So now that we have that first factor handled, let's look at the second factor. So how can your body spend calories and kind of prevent you from gaining weight? Well, then there's simply physical exercise. And that's something you need to be doing. You need to be doing some form of training in order for you to stimulate your body to build muscle mass. That's your goal, right? You want to build muscle mass. And there's also other forms of activity here which you can add, like sports, like cardio and things like that. And if you're really not into trying to become a cardio expert, or someone who is like an endurance athlete, I would say minimize the amount of cardio you're doing, because you don't need that extra energy expenditure. Maybe just do a session or two of 15-20 minutes a week just to get a little bit of those extra cardiovascular benefits. But you don't want to be a cardio bunny and a hard gainer at the same time, because that's going to make it really hard for you to gain any weight. And going further, I mean, physical activity is obviously necessary for you to do some form of strength training and simply do some form of hypertrophy work in order for you to build muscle, for you to look good, right? So going further, we have the second two factors which are really, really important, and that is the dietary induced thermogenesis. This is something a lot of people misunderstand and they don't understand how it works, but what really comes down to that, by you simply eating food, you need to spend calories to process that food. So if someone is eating 4,000 calories, they will be spending 400 calories simply to process that food. And if you, let's say, you go on a diet break, if you're losing weight, some people will find that, hey, shit, I didn't gain that much weight, because simply by them eating more food, they are spending more calories to process that. And a macronutrient that really comes, that stands out here is protein. Like you heard that 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, but it actually takes 1 calorie to put that protein into action in your body. Like it has various roles: building muscle, maintaining tissue, immune system, all these things. And protein actually requires 1 calorie just to simply operate. And that is the key point here. So you want to understand that by you adding more calories to your diet, you will be also spending more calories to process that food. And that's a key amount here, because it means simply that you need to be eating more than you think you need, because your calories in also determines your calories out. So going further, we have the final factor, which is the primary determinant of someone becoming or being a hard gainer, and it's determined by your genetics, and that is your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And what does this mean? Like, what is this? Well, things like maintaining posture, things like fidgeting, like things like moving around, things like someone will likely walk faster. Like if you take a group of people, some people walk faster, some people walk slower. Some people prefer to take the stairs simply habitually than rather take the elevator. Some people will park their car further because they like to take a walk to work, right? So these are your unconscious activities that add up when it comes to how many calories you're spending. And actually an interesting study here that really pointed out that some people can spend a great deal of calories is one done by, I think, Levine, and he studied I'm not sure how many people, but I know they added like about 1,000 extra calories to their diets, and it was like quite of a controlled study, and they wanted to see, okay, we're overfeeding these people, let's see how they react. And interestingly enough, some people, out of those 1,000 calories, their NEAT increased so high, they burnt up to 700 calories. So their effective surplus was only 300 calories. Imagine that, right? They increased fidgeting, moving around, maybe they tapped their foot on the floor for like, I don't know, 14 hours a day because of the extra food. They walked around more, they blinked faster, like all these things, which compounded to about 700 extra calories. There was about a 10-fold difference between various individuals, and there was like this one woman who, when they fed her 1,000 extra calories, she expended only about 100 through NEAT, which is making her that slow metabolism kind of person, and she gained most fat of all the people in the study. But there were some people that didn't gain any fat because their NEAT, their non-exercise activity thermogenesis, shot up so high that they burned so much more calories, and that prevented their body to gain weight. This is controlled by your genetics, and there's different systems. We're not sure yet. The research isn't clear yet on how you can completely manipulate your NEAT level, and it's a very nice indicator of how there's so much difference between individuals. And it's one of the factors that some people, I mean, you might be eating the same food, the same amount of food as your buddies, and you might be gaining weight or losing weight at a lot faster rate than them because of this NEAT difference, right? So you might be a NEAT freak. I know I have a client who's eating about 4,000 calories, he's about 155 pounds, and he's barely gaining any weight. Simply his NEAT is shooting up so high that he's just burning off all of those calories. And that is something that most people are not aware of, that by eating more food, the NEAT factor also changes, right? So you could be legit eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories and be about 160 pounds and not gain any weight. And by not gain any, I mean you won't gain a very large amount. You will always gain weight because the energy balance equation holds. So the bottom line here is that despite the fact that you need to be in a surplus, there's some things that will hold you back a little bit. But the point is that you simply need to eat more food. You need to be in a more of a caloric surplus to overcome these obstacles. So with this video, I just wanted to show you that there are clear obstacles when it comes to someone being a quote-unquote hard gainer and someone having a very slow metabolism and gaining weight, as they say, just by drinking water. So there's a big difference, right? And this is something to be aware of and manipulate through by just increasing more food. And one thing I would say is become aware first of how much food are you eating, add things to MyFitnessPal, measure, realize how many calories you're currently eating, and simply keep increasing until you get your desired weight gain, which should be between 0.5 to 1.5% per month of your total body weight. That is the amount of how you can build muscle depending on your training age. And I did make a couple of videos on this as well, so I'm going to leave all these videos in the description below that will help you how to choose different kinds of foods, like manipulate energy density, how to bulk, maybe you're using intermittent fasting, maybe you're not sure how fast you can build muscle. All of these things are already inside of videos that I'm going to leave in the description below, so you guys can check them out. Aside from that, if you have any comments, if you have any questions on how fast you can gain weight, what you should aim for, and any of this, leave it in the comments below. I'll definitely answer all of your questions as always. Aside from that, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click subscribe below to support the channel, and also share the video with your hard gainer friends to spread the word, to help them gain weight, to help them overcome the fact that they think they're hard gainers, that there's nothing that they can do about it. There's definitely things you can do by eating more. This video will simply increase the level of knowledge you have on nutrition and metabolism in general. Hope this helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.